guess who gets to leave the house at 4 o'clock this coming morning. So I get to get up at 3 this morning. That would be fun, right? Usually I get up 3 to meditate, not to leave to go for the airport. So what should we talk about today? So today I was gonna share with you about makeup. So I'm listening to this book. It's called Everything at Once. And it's a book by Bill Nye, the science guy. Do you know Bill Nye, the science guy? He used to have this amazing science show, and I loved watching his show. It was so good. So he wrote this book. It's called Everything at Once. And he talks about how he wears a bow tie, and he learned how to tie a bow tie. He learned how to tie a square knot on his shoes, because whenever he looks at people's shoes with laces, he would see like how they tied their shoes, and then he would see if they tied in a way that was effective. And so I looked up how to tie a square knot, and I looked up other knots, and my dad's like this master at tying knots. Whenever we go anywhere, he ties these amazing knots. And then my sister's just like, I don't even know how to like when she moved to California, he tied string and knots, and he tied everything in place. He's like, don't worry, nothing is going to move. And she's just like, I don't even know how to like undo these knots. And if I had to take something out, I don't even know how to tie them back. And I'm like, oh, this is how you do it. You know, showing it. And I just had like this natural knack for knots. And when Bill Nye, the science guy, and he was talking about the knots, like I really started to appreciate how beautiful knots could be and how effective they could be. There's even like this knot you can tie where people can stick their leg in, so that if like they're stuck in like a crevasse or like a cenote or something deep within like in the well or at the bottom of a valley or something, and you're kind of like overlooking, like you can tie this special knot. They can stick their legs in, and you can use that to like harness them up, because it'll hold them in place. Like a knot could save someone's life, just like you have special knots that people tie when they rock climbing and stuff like that. So I have a new profound appreciation for knots. So today I want to share with you about makeup. I noticed that on the weekends I usually don't wear makeup, and Bill Nye, he said that when he spoke to Jerry Seinfeld said that whenever he had a show, like there were some clients that he would, you know, he does stand-up comedy, and so he said, always dress to be a little bit more formal than your audience. And I thought about that. And Bill Nye said that he liked to wear a bow tie, like when he was waiting, like the girls had like an event, and the guy's job was to serve the girls dessert and food and stuff like that. And he's like, you know, we should wear a bow tie, you know, because that's what waiters do. They're more formal and stuff. Hold on, let me close the door. Austin is being unusually loud. I think he only gets loud when I do a video. You know, like kids only start talking when you get on the phone. It's the same thing. So he said, you know, we should do bow ties. And so his dad taught him how to like practice tying a bow tie on his thigh or his leg or something. And then he got good at tying it on his neck. And then he would show the other guys how to do it. And he would like tie all the knots and the bow ties on their neck. And I was thinking about my relationship with makeup. Like I have makeup, and my sister is like, she'll watch these YouTube videos, and she gets really good at playing around with makeup. And I was thinking, like, why would, like, you know, guys, they don't wear makeup. They might wear really nice clothes. They might have a tuxedo on, and they look very dashing and handsome when they have a clean haircut. And when they dress up, like when they have a suit or a tie or a tux or something, they look very dashing and very dapper and very handsome. Women, right, we have our hair, we have our makeup, we have this gorgeous gown, we have high heels and everything. And I was thinking, like, why do women wear makeup, and then why do men not? And I was thinking, you know, when I on the weekends, I notice a pattern, all right? I notice this pattern of behavior. So when I get up and I said, well, Tuan, today you're going to do a lot of productive work. Today you're going to get to work, you're going to write, you're going to have a lot of powerful conversations, you're going to really go out and do stuff. You're going to conquer the day, you're going to make it amazing. And so then when I say stuff like that to myself, I'm like, and you're going to start out by putting on makeup and making sure your hair is not sticking up all over the place, and you're kind of like presentable in a way. And then on the days where I'm like, I roll out of bed, I sit at my desk, I do my work, I go out, I shuffle out to the the breakfast area. I get some water, I get some food, some breakfast. Like I just lounge around all day and I kind of do work. But I notice that the energy is different when I make an effort to put on some makeup and to make myself presentable in a way. And you know, there is something powerful about that. And you know, like I think if we wear makeup because we think, gosh, I'm not beautiful, or I need makeup because it enhances my beauty, or I wouldn't walk out of the house without makeup. Like I used to be like that. Like, you know, my husband, he's like, hey, the male people at our apartment, the leasing office want to talk to somebody or talk to us about something. I'd be like, oh, I don't have my makeup on. I don't want to go talk to them. And then he's like, why? Like, you look fine without makeup. You are beautiful without makeup. Like, why would you want to wear makeup? And so a while I was like, oh, if I don't wear makeup, that doesn't look good. And then I noticed that I dropped the issue about makeup. And so I would go into work sometimes and I would be rushing and I didn't put makeup in the car or something. And then I'd walk in, I forgot that I wasn't wearing makeup. So I talked to somebody as if I was wearing makeup. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute, you weren't wearing makeup. Weren't you supposed to be kind of like weird and awkward and like self-conscious because you weren't wearing makeup? But I totally forgot because I was involved in this really deep, powerful conversation. I totally forgot, oh yeah, you're not wearing makeup. So if you're not wearing makeup, you're supposed to be weird and awkward and like self-conscious. And I wasn't. And then I'd go into the bathroom like, oh yeah, you're not wearing makeup. You can put some on or you can leave it off. But I noticed that if I changed my clothes out of my pajamas, if I put on some makeup, if I brush my teeth, if I put on some lipstick or something, you are kind of like stepping into a different energy. You are almost like setting the intention of how you present yourself and how you share yourself. And Bill Nye, the science guy, and Jerry Seinfeld, they said something really profound to me. They said, when you have an audience and you dress up a little bit more when you speak to them, a little bit more than the audience would, you're actually being really respectful of your audience. And I was like, oh, gosh, I never thought of it that way. Like, I never thought of it as being respectful. Like, it's like you show up for an interview and you have your hair brushed and you have your makeup on, you wear like professional looking clothing. Like, why is it that a director or a CFO or CEO or something, like, why do they dress kind of like nice? Is it because they think they look weird if they're not nice? Or is it because they respect their position and they respect presenting themselves in a very presentable way? Just like when I am about to go live, right? I can go live and not wear makeup. And I know that you guys will love me regardless, right? But then I notice that if I have makeup on and I wear makeup, I'm not worried about the makeup part. I'm not worried about bags under my eyes. It's just like, oh, I took care of it. Like, that thing is taken care of. So I'm going to really share my message. I'm really going to talk about what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to be distracted by my lack of makeup or something. Because I'm looking at a mirror. Like, if I'm talking to you here, like, I see 3 cameras going on, like, it's a mirror. And so instead of being distracted by my lack of makeup or lack of, like, respect, you know, of being very presentable to you, I'm just focusing on my message. So if you have any beef about makeup or not makeup, think of it in a different way. Think of it instead of, well, do I need makeup? Am I not beautiful without makeup? No, I think many people are gorgeous, and all of us are divine and perfect and whole and complete. Like, we're made a certain way for a reason, you know, and everyone has natural beauty. But if you notice that your energy shifts when you wear makeup, like, you notice that it's a way for you to respect yourself. It's a way for you to enhance your beauty. It's a way to accentuate your cheekbones or bring out more definition in your eyes or something, or you have light eyebrows and you like them to be darker because it enhances your features or something, then I think that's very nice. Right? You're presenting you're putting on some nice clothing. You're presenting yourself in a very respectful way. You're like respecting your audience. You're respecting the people you talk to. You're respecting the people that you're spending time with, because you want to make sure you're presentable in a way. You're clean, you smell nice, you know, you have makeup on, like, you're very presentable. And I was thinking, gosh, that's very kind and respectful in a way. If you're not looking at from a position of, well, I have to wear makeup. If I don't wear makeup, then I look terrible. I'm so ugly or something. Instead, I think I'm beautiful. I'm natural, and I'm beautiful the way I am. And if I choose to wear makeup and I choose to present myself in a different energy, and I choose to be respectful of my audience, I choose to respect myself, and I choose to like care for myself and take care of myself, and I choose to like see myself with makeup in the mirror, and I admire how beautiful I am, I don't see anything wrong with that either, right? There's no right or wrong answer here or anything like that. It's just about like, how do you choose to be? Like, how would you like to be? Yesterday, my coach, she just came from Bali, and Bali is near Indonesia, or maybe it's a part of Indonesia. And I actually was born near Bali. I was born in Indonesia, or Natuna Island, or Tanjung Pinang or something, like in the Singapore, Indonesia area. And I saw some pictures in National Geographic, and I saw how beautiful the blue waters were, and I saw how beautiful the ocean was. And I was like, gosh, like I'm so lucky. Like my parents were at a refugee camp, and typically you think it's a time of like sadness, and it's a time of like escape, and so much going on. And people were born in hospitals, and I was born like near the ocean. Like they set up a little camp. There's a doctor talking to the moms, and helping them deliver their babies and stuff. I got to listen to the ocean, the tidal waves, the waves crashing onto the shore, the beach line. Like I got to listen to that for like 7 months of my life. I was thinking, oh my gosh, like what an amazing first 7 months of my life before I even remember anything. And so she went to Bali. She has like this amazing coach, and she has this mastermind, and she said something to the extent of, she did hot yoga. And I love hot yoga. I go to hot yoga, I leave everything on the mat. You're so focused on the positions, and you're so focused on your balance, like you are completely present in the moment. And if I'm ever not present, Kurt, the instructor, he'll come by. He's just like, hello, where are you? Are you here? Are you here? Because if you're not here, where are you? And I'm like, oh, crap, I'm sorry. And I was like, how does he know I'm not here? Like, how does he know when like my mind wanders off or something? And so I always do yoga next to Melissa Cook. And she's this badass powerhouse, right? She's like 7 feet tall, gorgeous woman, lean and thin and beautiful. She looks half her age. She's pumped out 4 kids. She looks amazing. And I have a deep, profound respect for her. She's like a CFO. She's high position. She wears heels, beautiful clothing. Like she's like all around like perfect, right? And so I'm always doing yoga right next to this woman, and I have so much respect for her. And she is like one of the best yogis I know. Like she can do the splits. She is utterly flexible. Like she takes her yoga practice very, very seriously. At home, she'll practice like her yoga poses with her daughter. She'll do like headstands, like she'll practice doing headstands, or she'll practice being in different positions. And I was like, oh my gosh, like only time I do yoga is when I go to a yoga studio. She practices it at home when it's not hot, when your muscles are not pliable, just because she loves it and she wants to do it. And so whenever I'm next to Melissa and I'm doing this hot yoga, I'm always just like, okay, what next thing can you do? Like Kurt is up here, he's the instructor. He's doing like these crazy ass like chaturangas and headstands where you transition from one pose to the next without ever having your body touch the ground. If you've ever done a tricep push-up and you do one after another, like your arm right here starts getting shot, right? And what typically is the relief for that is you would rest on your feet or your toes. Like that's like a nanosecond where you get to rest for a moment. Well, this guy and Melissa, they don't rest between the poses. They move from one flow pose to the next pose, and they do not put their body on the ground. The only part that hits the ground is probably their fingers. Like their fingers like are digging into the freaking yoga mat. And so I'm sweating profusely. I'm doing these yoga poses next to Melissa, this badass yogi powerhouse, like perfect woman, right? And she always inspires me to be more than what I typically would push myself. If I was doing yoga at home by myself, I would not push myself very hard. I'd be like, oh yeah, I can do that. Or I just look at the most advanced person in the video or something. I would do that because usually I could, right? Well, there is those people that are pretty advanced, and then there's the modifier who, you know, does the easier version of the pose. And then there's like Melissa, and then there is like a Kurt, and they do like these crazy ass like poses that are so inspirational, right? And so whenever I'm next to her, I can't help but like push myself a little further, reach a little higher, hold the pose a little longer. Like I can't help but just be inspired to do and do, like, be so inspired by that. And Lauren, if you watched her video yesterday, she said something really profound. She said, why is it that she will show up for people, like really show up for people? Like she never ever lets me down. Whatever coaching session we have, no matter if we're having lunch, if we're eating together, if we're doing a photo shoot together, if we're going to like rainbow vomit together, like we're always having these deep, profound conversations, and she's just always pouring all this love into me. And she asked herself, like, why is it that we show up for people that way? Like we bring out the best of ourselves, you know, like why is it that when I'm next to Melissa or Kurt and they're doing like these crazy ass yoga poses that I push myself so hard? If I'm next to a Gabby, I'm next to a Melissa, I'm next to Kurt, like I really push myself. And then why is it that when we show up for ourselves, we don't? And that was a big question to ask myself. And it was a hard thing to face. You know, it was just like, why don't you show up for yourself? And Lauren said, I'm leaving all that crap at Bali. You know, it can go into the earth, it can be recycled, it can be used as fertilizer, it can be used for whatever purpose it's used, but I'm leaving that behind. And so if you haven't caught Lauren's video from yesterday in Bali, check it out. Lauren Roberts, Live Love Now with Lauren Roberts. And she said, she asked a very profound question. She goes, why do you not show up for yourself in that way? And I was thinking, well, how could I show up for myself that way? You know, and I was thinking it, and I started crying because I was thinking, why don't we show up for ourselves that way? Like, why don't we believe in ourselves? Why do we have this doubt? Why don't we respect ourselves the way that we respect the people that we care so deeply about? Why is it that we step into a different energy and pour all this love into people, and we can't even bring ourselves to love ourselves in that way? Why is it that when we look in the mirror and we, like when you say stuff like, I love you, Tuan, I really love you, why is it a difficult thing to do? Why is it difficult for us to truly love ourselves? And I was thinking, okay, well, let's start somewhere small, right? If I can't even look at myself in the mirror and tell myself how much I love myself, then maybe I could pretend and start with, hi, Eva. Hi, Eva. Oh, mommy cereal. Mommy cereal. So then I played a game with myself. So I tried this exercise. Okay, so I said, okay, Tuan.
Yellow.
Oh, yellow. Star. I'm going to miss this little girl tomorrow when I go off to skiing. So I pretended to do something different, and I encourage you to do it too. So imagine all the people you love. Your husband, your kids, your mom, your dad, your sister, your coworkers, your life coach, your mentor, their spouses, all the people that you desire to surround yourself with, all these people that always pour all this love into you. Imagine if you were talking to them. Or imagine if, let's say, for instance, I'm doing this live video, right? And I am talking to you right now. I'm pouring all this love into you. I'm speaking from my heart and my soul because that's my intention. And I imagine, instead of me bringing my energy for myself, I imagine I'm bringing this energy, and Lauren and Kelly and Megan and Sandy and Melissa and Kurt and my parents and Deborah and my husband and my kids, Everybody, my meditation teacher, the multiverse, our Heavenly Father, like everyone is taking a stand for me. And everyone is pouring all this love into me while I share myself with you in this video. Or share myself, period, for myself. If I could remember how deeply loved I am and how much love is always poured into me and how deeply I'm supported all the time, what would it be like? How would I be? How would I be? And when I said that and when I thought that, it just moved me to tears. It moved me to tears. It just moved me to tears. It's Ava's. Ava's. So, that is some profound thought for yourself. Look. So I'm on day 2 of... Mommy, Dada! Mommy, Dada! Mommy, Dada! Mommy, Dada! Ava, may hukang ka? Austin. Austin? This is Austin's. That's right. So, I'm on day 2 of mirror work. This is a mirror work workbook called by Louise Hay, creator of Hay House Radio, Hay House Books, all sorts of stuff. You go. What is that? I don't know what that is. Yucky. Want to do Jay? Want to do this? Yeah. What do you want? What will you eat? Want this? No. No. So day 2 is you look in the mirror and you tell yourself how much you love how much you love yourself, and you say it 100 times. You say it over and over and over and over until it takes, until it starts sinking in. Because you know what they say. If you've heard Liliana Hicks. Is her name Liliana? I forget. Her name is Esther. Esther Hicks. If you've heard Esther Hicks talk, and she says faith is something you say over and over. Belief or faith is something you say on repeat. You say it repeatedly. If you said to yourself every day, you want down? You said to yourself every single day, and you look in the mirror, and you said, I love you, Tuan. I love you. I love you. And you look at yourself in the eye, and you say, I love you. And you say it 100 times. Don't you think it would start catching? Like, don't you think you start building some faith and belief? Because if faith and belief is just something you said over and over and over, don't you think you would start loving yourself? I did this in the car. Like, you know, I point the rear view mirror instead of looking at the cars behind me. I point them to myself, and I look at myself. And I'm like, Tuan, you're a beautiful person. You know, I appreciate you. I love you. And then I notice that when I am more intimate with myself, and when I love myself more, when I start appreciating my beauty, my inner beauty, my outer beauty, all I stand for, the soul that I am, the person that I am, she found this. You know what I saw? I saw how handsome my husband was. Like, he was, what was he doing? I forget. He was in the kitchen. He did something. And I was like, Everett, you look so good. You are so young, and you have really taken care of yourself. And I am looking at you, and I'm seeing how handsome you are. Because it dawned on me, like, how handsome he is. And I think what shifted was when you are in love with yourself. When you have a quiet love affair with yourself, to quote Wayne Dyer, when you love yourself and appreciate yourself, and you start looking in the mirror and you say how much you love yourself, and you say, Tuan, I love you. You gone? Oh. And you say, Tuan, I love you. So say, blank, I love you. Blank is you. Or I love you, blank. Or I am learning to love you. I love you deeply. I enjoy loving you. Like, tell yourself you love yourself and admire yourself in a confident way. You know, like, really embrace it, live into it. And then when you start building that, I started seeing more beauty around me. Like, my husband is really handsome. He's a very handsome, nice, loving, kind person. Instead of always picking him apart and seeing everything that is wrong with him, I started seeing how beautiful he is. Because I started seeing the beauty in myself. It's all correlated. It's all totally synchronistic, right? So many good things today. Love yourself. Wear makeup if you love it. Step into the energy. Present yourself in a way that really gets you to bring it, and think of all the people that pour love into you all the time. Surround yourself with people that love you deeply, and just have it all poured into you, and think of them when you are sharing yourself with other people. So what else? Oh yes, so I am a life coach, and I have deep, powerful conversations with my clients all the time. And my clients are amazing. You are amazing. You are magnificent. You are a powerhouse. You are the multiverse manifested. You are a child of God. You are a being of light. You are magnificence in a human form. The only thing is, you might not know that. You may not realize that. You may not know how powerful you are. You may not know how wonderful you are. And did you know that you have the power to be fulfilled? You have the power to be happy. You have the power to live a meaningful, profound, infinitely powerful life. Did you know that? You absolutely have the power. I had the power. I didn't know that until I hired a life coach. And I'm a life coach, and I have a life coach. So now you know how important it is to have a life coach in your life. And there is nothing wrong with your life. There's nothing wrong with you. The only thing is, are you living a fulfilling, powerful, meaningful life? That's the question I have for you. When I say this, is it triggering you? Is it pissing you off? Is it making you mad? Are you asking all these questions? Or are you thinking, not really? I am here to tell you that you have the power within you, because you are a badass. You are magnificent. You are infinitely powerful. Everything you have to choose to be happy, to create a life of happiness and fulfillment and meaning, already exists within you. There's nothing my coach could provide for me that I don't already have. There's nothing I could provide for you that you don't already have. The only difference a life coach does for you is she gives you access to that stuff that you already have within you. You don't know how to access that stuff. You may not even know the stuff is within you. And if you did know the stuff was within you, you're like, well, how do I get to it? How do I live powerfully? How do I live a deep, meaningful life? How do I get life fulfillment? How can I choose to be happy? There's so many things unhappy about my life. How could you ask me to choose to be happy? That, my dear, is a matter of choice. And until you sit down with a life coach and have some powerful conversations, and for you to do some self-examination, some soul reflection, that is when you start shifting into a new paradigm. You start tuning into the vibrational frequency. You start tuning into the channel of who you really are, and you start accessing that kind of life. So simple, right? Easy? Not so much. That's where the life coach comes in. There are many paths to the same destination. Some are more convoluted paths, some have obstacles, some is a straight shot and you get there as fast and quickly as possible in the least amount of time. You might be doing 3 lifetimes of stuff in a single lifetime when you have a life coach in your life, when you have that powerful mentor in your life, because you're getting so much access to all you have so quickly because you're doing the work every single week. Every single week when I have a coaching session with my life coach, there is homework to be done. There is work to be had. There is stuff to do. And it's deeply soul expansive. It's deeply reflective. And you truly access the powerhouse that you really are. That's the power of having a life coach. So, I don't care how you get to me, just get to me. You absolutely could benefit from having a life coach in your life. Do you need one? No. if you desire to take the shortest path, yes, I would highly recommend it. I would highly recommend it. So if you know anyone who's looking for a life coach or a mentor of some sort to really live a powerful life, please think of me and refer me to them or refer them to me. Connect us, and we can have a virtual meeting and talk. If they're in the local Dallas area, then we could have lunch or coffee and talk. And then they can see if we're a good match. It doesn't have to be me. Like, there are plenty of powerful life coaches out there. Lauren and I are one of the most powerful coaches, life coaches, of course. Of course. And have you met her badass husband, Kelly? Yeah. I surround myself with very powerful people. That's part of my daily manifestation each day. So, if you don't have a life coach in your life, get one. Find one that resonates with you. I'm sure you could Google it. But if I resonate with you and what I'm saying really touched you to the core and really struck something for you, then reach out to me. And everything I have is called Soul, S-O-U-L, Elevated Life. Feel free to, I really appreciate it if you shared my video with others, if you found any value in it or you found someone who might like it. If you would go to my like page called Soul, S-O-U-L, Elevated Life, and like my page, it would be deeply appreciated. One of my manifestations is my videos are received by millions of viewers receive my message. So I need your help. If you could send me some positive vibes, if you could ask the multiverse to help me, if you could send me some of your love and support and your encouragement virtually, like I'm sending out to you right now. You could pray for me. Prayer is a very powerful way to set intentions. Anything. I'll take anything. Ika? What is it, Eva? What else? Yes. So get a life coach in your life. And your life will just shift into a completely different paradigm. And yes, you do have all this stuff. You may not just know how to access it, and that's how the life coach helps you. That's it. That's my message of the day. I'll see you on From a Place of Snow next time I go live. And I send you love, light, profound clarity, enlightenment, and infinite possibility for all that you desire to create for your life that is completely in alignment with your soul's expansion and growth. Here's to you living a soul elevated life, and I will see you tomorrow.